Hello, this is Robert. This is a video response or a perspective on the points shared within a video titled about DesteniProductions.avi, uploaded by Cowboy Bebop 444. This video is basically a review of this guy's review of Destiny Productions, the Destiny Productions channel on YouTube, and the material Destiny shares. The main theme within this is about the point of stopping thinking and what does that mean, and Cowboy shares his perspective that we cannot really stop thinking completely. So what do we mean? What does Destiny mean when we say stop thinking? It means simply stop being controlled by your own mind in a way where you don't use your mind as a tool to make, for example, computations. When you do math, you use your mind as a tool to apply certain approach to a problem. There's nothing wrong with that kind of thinking. It's a practical tool you use every day to achieve certain outcomes. Where a problem comes within thinking is when thoughts flood your mind and you actually give value to these thoughts and identify with these thoughts and then change according to these thoughts, where you actually start to make decisions based on stuff that just appears out of nowhere in your mind. With this, obviously there must be a problem with this, because you don't know where does it come from, these thoughts that suddenly appear in your mind. It can be, for example, a reaction to a new being or a person you meet in your life. Suddenly you feel resistance. If you give into this, then you can, for example, ostracize this person. While there you should stop yourself and stop thinking. This why? Because do you know where does that thought come from? Where does that resistance come from, which you experience? You cannot just believe that thing popping in your mind and give it value. Is it something you learned in your childhood, you observed in your childhood, and it has now become part of your unconscious mind, and you don't even know about it, that you're influenced through and by such a pattern? So within such a thinking, it's very beneficial to stop yourself and investigate where does it come from. The tools of investigation are, for example, writing, then self-forgiveness, which is a more consistent approach in disengaging these patterns. But here I'm going into the Destiny material itself, which is well presented within and on the Destiny website and Destiny Productions channel, so I won't go further into this. I'll focus more on cleaning up the points within the video about Destiny Productions. So you have to, the words Destiny says and shares, you have to always look at within the context they are shared. So if in one video you hear a phrase stop thinking, you cannot just take the phrase stop thinking and simply try to understand what Destiny says through referring to this phrase and taking it out of the context. As I've explained, there are different types of thinking. There is thinking that is used as a tool, where you're the directive principle of the tool, which is your mind, where you, for example, apply mathematics within your mind to do computations within your mind. And there is thinking where you are being influenced, controlled, and directed by your own mind, without you questioning it, without you stopping, without you being able to clearly determine where does this direction or influence come from. And that type of thinking you should question, and you should investigate where does it come from. And usually when you do that, you arrived at a fear, at resistance, at belief you decided upon a long time ago, and you see that it's beneficial to drop that belief and let it go, because then you can look at the situations clearly and without the lens of the thought as a pattern that you participate within without you even knowing it, by being influenced through your thoughts, reacting to your thoughts and giving value to them and associating with them. Another point you mentioned in the beginning of your video is that you believe within free thinking in terms of giving everyone else the freedom to think within the words of whatever floats your boat, do whatever floats your boat. Obviously, your freedom begins where the freedom of others ends. So this type of free thinking or freedom of thinking has to have its limits, and these limits are practicality. What's practical here for everyone that's participating within this reality. So, for example, even our current society, within the stage as it is now, recognizes some of these practical points, and, for example, wouldn't allow rapists to walk around freely, even though you could justify that the rape is something that floats their boat. You can clearly state that, and it makes sense, because that's what gives them their energy fix. That's what they want to do. And obviously, for practical purposes, you cannot allow such a thing to happen. So that's where the freedom of thinking of rapists ends. And through investigations or investigation of other points, like, for example, religion, can we allow anyone to believe within anything freely? Well, we simply ask, where does that lead? If people believe in things that cannot be proven and that others cannot consistently apply, and that cannot be equated within the context of this reality, then we have a problem, because we have beings walking around that are delusional, and there's always someone or something that is harmed through such beings' participation. Because if you're delusional, you'll simply miss parts of this reality, which is very much here and practical, physical, in your face. And you have to be 100% here to make the best out of it, to not harm others, to see where you're stepping, and to consider everything and what's best for all. And I mean, that takes all of your focus, and you simply cannot allow yourself to fly away within your mind and create beliefs that you cannot prove to anyone else just for your own benefit and self-interest because you fear facing the reality as it is. That's unacceptable. And obviously, from the perspective of the society, this kind of approach may seem like quite harsh. I mean, our democratic countries pride themselves on the surface that we have the freedom of your religion. You can choose your religion or your belief. And us, Destiny, questioning this freedom, obviously we go against this on the surface thing or point that some hold very dear. But why would someone really do that? It's for their own self-interest, because they can then justify their actions through their belief. And through dropping these beliefs, working within the practicality and what can be consistently proven for yourself and for others, we can actually arrive at some very simple conclusions and cooperation together as one, where we don't have to create any beliefs and we don't have to think about things that we cannot influence, like for example the concept of God or any other belief, because we simply have to take care of the practical things that influence us every day, like the money system, which is one of the primary thing that we need to, as humanity, look at through dropping all the beliefs about it and how we've existed before up to this day and what we believe is possible, because that's the one thing that decides life or death for every single person currently on the planet Earth. And we definitely have the potential to make it much better than it is, as how the system functions now. And that's possible through questioning the most basic freedoms and concepts and establishments of our current society. And that is possible through stopping thinking from the perspective and within the context of only allowing the thinking as a practical tool, which you're the directive principle of, and stopping the unnecessary and harmful influence of your mind, where you're the controlled subject and something or someone that is influenced by something that you don't understand, you don't know where it comes from, and you cannot control, and you don't know where it leads you to. So that's my perspective on your video. Thank you.